with a sparkle in my eye. Rhythm and rhymes calling my name like way back when. I remember way back when. Felt cool as though school was back in session. Back again with Jay Nash, C. West, and friends in. No longer the freshman. I'm now a hip-hop professor with a poetic message. Class in session, blessings. Newcomers, first lesson. This is the place where jazz and bebop meets hip-hop. We call it the land of po-hop, where ciphers were a regular occurrence. No longer the freshman. I'm now a hip-hop professor with a poetic message. Class in session, blessings. Newcomers, first lesson. This is the place where jazz and bebop meets hip-hop. We call it the land of po-hop, where ciphers were a regular occurrence. No longer.
Yes, welcome. How y'all doing? We're just in the Cali Cap today. We just want to say welcome, and we appreciate y'all for tuning in.
Right, just one of the Sketches of My Culture podcast.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Po hop with it.
Yes, sir. Po hop. He said Sketches of My Culture podcast, and today is another day to get better with life.
Yes, for certain. And we got one of the, I don't think we're going to get better than this.
No doubt about it.
The feature that we got going right now is, I mean, it's all homegrown.
Yes, sir.
Once again, we blessed. And all of them have been our favorite for real. Mm-hmm. But undeniably, can't nobody argue me with this one.
This is big right here.
Yeah.
It's an honorary situation for us. So we're glad to have this gentleman in the studio with us today. And
mentor, paved
father
way,
figure, friend.
DNA, I mean, it's everything.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say more. I appreciate him for stopping by. So let's please introduce. Why don't you go ahead and introduce him, Cornell?
We're just talking about my pops, C. West and pops, Jay Nash. But no, please put your hands together or stay tuned and pay attention to Clifton L. West III, my dad. My father.
Oh, you guys, I tell you, I'm sitting up here just relishing in and marinating in this blessing, man. You have no idea. I don't have the words to tell you how the Lord is blessing me from being in your presence right now. And I got the Queen Nikki Porter over there.
Yes.
Can't we give her something?
Yeah.
Oh,
Made for a Boss TV.
God almighty.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate the Queen of Sound.
The torch is being handed down. I'm looking at all this beautiful blackness and all this moral crusade that's being handed down as we hand it down. You know, you have to get this stuff from the elders before we become your ancestors. You know?
Wow.
So this is what this is about. We've had conversations and so forth. Wow, for over me and Corn, I don't want to tell his age, but the Negro is over 50 years old. And he my baby boy, so I'll tell you how old I am. But then Jay Nash, I've been knowing him through his dad and even before he was born. And I'm so proud. Really, he's my spiritual son as well, brother. You are more closer to me than I can ever explain. And just to be in my biological son's present and seeing what you guys are doing, man. You guys are serving in the great tradition of a great people. Mm-hmm. That's the thing to keep in mind, what a really great people we are. Sometimes I just sit back. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes Negroes get on my nerves. But I get on my own nerves. But when I sit back and I look at the beauty that is uniquely ours, it doesn't make us any better than anyone else.
Right.
But it does make us different.
Right.
Yes, sir.
See, and God knew what he was doing when he made black folk.
Right.
Because everywhere we go, we make it a little bit better than it was.
Oh, yeah.
And when we leave it a little bit better than it was before we got there.
Yeah. I agree.
It's real talk. So yeah, Jeff. I mean,
we know we got multiple adventures from you. We know you have a lot of things that you wanted to present to us today, and so I know we're speaking about the.
As far as like sports is what we, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
How we got down.
Let's talk about that first.
Because it's already the torch is already lit. Pops and your dad.
Yeah.
Both ran track. You know what I'm saying? And man, it's like maybe Pops, if you could be able to let people know about Sacramento and where you guys came from in Sacramento, and then with the whole track and endeavor with the sports in school and in church and things of that nature?
Oh, definitely. I just give you just a brief rundown of my life and how I got here.
Right.
How I got to this mic.
Right.
You know, because not just from a standpoint of being egotistical or anything like that, but again, as a way of expressing, it's good to tell your story.
Yes, it is.
See, each and every one of our stories need to be told. It really does. Because it is insignificant as one might think they are. There is something in that story that we can all use.
Yes.
Each and every one of us were put here to do something that nobody else has ever done in the history of the world or will do after we gone. And it's needed. It is needed. We're all part of the same fabric. And I'm talking not just black people now, I'm talking about humanity.
Right.
We're all part of the same fabric. So my journey has been one started in East Texas when I was born back in the day before black folks would be born in hospitals in the South. So I was born in a clinic where a black doctor delivered me. Actually, that was a big thing because during that time it was a maid, Miss, what you call it? Help me, Nikki.
Maidman.
Midwife.
Or
Midwife. Thank you.
I was gonna say
midwife.
that.
Yeah. Speak up, sister. Yeah. Queen. She's in on this with us, and so my mom said, "No, we don't need a midwife. We going with Dr. Welch." So we lived in Orange, Texas, and went down to Port Arthur because we didn't live in Port Arthur.
Right.
Went down to his clinic where I was born, and my head was pointed, and all my aunts tried to get it together. I still got a hump on my head right now. But that love is right there. You know, it's right there. And so we went from there to Tulsa, Oklahoma, where my brother was born. Same time that Uncle Charlie was born. We lived in the same neighborhood at the same time as Charlie Wilson.
Oh,
It was a Gap Band, right?
Gap Band.
Yeah.
Greenwood, Archer, and Pine.
Right.
So we kicked it around there for a few years. Then we went to Topeka, Kansas, where my sister was born. And then what's historic about this, and that's why your story is so important, is that Brown versus the Board of Education passed in 1954 to be effective in 1955, in September 1955. Guess what little black child started kindergarten in Topeka, Kansas in September of 1955? Me.
you did. Okay.
It was two black kids in my kindergarten class. And you know Beverly Pryor.
Right. Auntie Beverly.
Auntie Beverly, her and I was the only two black. We integrated that school.
Right.
I remember going in there with my cowboy boots on in September of 1955.
The whole nation, though. Yeah, the picture and everything.
You never know where your journey gonna lead you, man.
Right.
You just got to go with it. And so we stayed there until my third grade year. Then we came to Sacramento, California. And my brother, by that time, he had come into the fold. He started kindergarten in my third grade year. So we was over here at Glen Elder. Glen Elder had already, the elders had already opened up on the north side, but the track we was on the south side. So we was over there, and we went to Elder Creek Elementary School. And I remember my brother didn't know his name. We called him Little Ronnie. The whole neighborhood called him Little Ronnie because that's what we called him from the day he was born. That's his middle name. So when he went to kindergarten, they were taking roll, and he said, Cornell West. He said, you got the last name right, but I don't know who you're talking about. So that is not my name. I'm not answering to nobody else's name. Maybe he's absent. So he said, do you have an older brother, somebody we can clear this thing up? He said, oh, yeah. So he comes up to my room with the teacher. I'm in third grade just trying to get my thing together. I'm only 7 years old. And so he come in. I said, oh, here he come again. And so he said, is his name Cornell West? I said, yeah, I said, Corn. I said, Ronnie, we're going to explain to you when we get home. But just answer the Cornell today.
Yeah.
And then for the rest of the day, And then we get home, we're going to explain this thing to you.
There you go. Excellent.
All right, well, you say it, bro. Cool. And he's been like that ever since, man. And then fast forward 17 years, man, and I run into Phyllis Slaughter. We get married, start having a beautiful family. But before then, I met this beautiful Slaughter Andrade family. It's beautiful people, man. I mean, inside and out. And met your dad. Heck of an athlete. Matter of fact, he was the city champion in the quarter mile, I want to say for 2 years. His junior and senior year.
Talking about Jeff Nash
I'm
Sr.
talking about Jeff Nash Sr. now.
Yeah, big dog.
Yeah, that brother, he was the prettiest running 400-meter man in Sacramento ever had. Him and Chris Ford, though. But he beat Chris Ford. I think Chris took second. I went to Johnson. I was going to Johnson then.
Okay.
And so Jeff went there, and then my senior year went on to Kennedy. Graduated from Kennedy the first year it opened. Didn't want to move from the Elders, man. I asked my mom and dad if I could just stay in Glen Elder, and they could just, only be 1 year. I could stay with Raymond Reed or somebody. Right. Bring your black ass on. Stop playing. You ain't old enough to get another whip. But the Lord knows what he's doing, because that year was a watershed year for me. I ended up realizing some dreams in sports. We wanted to talk about sports. And I ended up going from running a 5:05 mile just 24 months before that to running a 4:09 mile 24 months.
School record.
4:07 today, and with the distance they run today.
Okay.
And still the school record, and I won the state meet, California state meet, and the Golden West National.
Number one in the nation.
Won the nation that year. Changed my life.
Yeah.
And, I tell this story every time I go somewhere and speak to young people, that if you just dedicate 36 months of your life, of your cognitive life, in other words, you make the choice yourself to have the discipline and not depend on it to come from nowhere else. Let it come from inside you. See, Jesse Owens came to dinner with us the end of my junior year. I had to run a 4:37 the end of my junior year. I was tied for first place in Sacramento. And he, after having dinner, he looked at me. He says, "I believe you can be at this meet." He was a marshal at the Golden West. He said, "I believe that you could be at this meet next year." I said, "Mr. Owens," I said, "that's top 8 in the nation. I'm not even top 8 in, greater Sacramento area. I'm just top 1 in the Sacramento city schools." He said, no. You got something in you. So he was passing it down.
Right.
Told me his story. Next, sure enough, 12 months to the year, almost the day, I'm in that meet, end up winning it. 36 months of just your own discipline, doing that day in and day out, filtering out all the distractions, becoming something, the best version of yourself, learning what that is, learning what it takes to get there, refusing to be held back, refusing to let anything get into your dream. And our dream wasn't to be number 1 necessarily in the nation, but my dream was to see how good I could be. Okay? To see how good I could be. And not only was I running not just for me, I was running for all those people that had poured all that love into me for those 16, 17 years I'd been living.
Right.
I owed more to them than I even did myself. So when I'm coming down that straightaway looking at that finish line, I'm thinking of grandma, I'm thinking of grandpa, I'm thinking of my mom and dad, I'm thinking of my brothers and sisters, I'm thinking of the brothers and sisters I grew up in Glen Elder with and all the stuff we went through, and good and bad. I'm thinking of all that.
Right.
So, but fast forward even more than that, even more rewarding to me than any of those things. I went to Cal, did well at Cal. They just broke my freshman record a couple years ago. So that lasts for, I don't know,
Long time.
200 years, something. But even more than that was coaching. See, when I start coaching, this little knucklehead right here. And believe it or not, he was one of my best, not just athletes, but most coachable athletes. But he first had to coach me as being my son in order for me to be a good coach to him.
Right.
And I coached him in everything: football, basketball.
Baseball.
Baseball is where he taught me.
Batting both ways.
Baseball is where he taught me. He stole a base one time and against a signal that I had given him. And I read him the riot act in front of everybody. Stopped the whole game. The umpire even said, "Sir, I don't want to have to throw you out of the game for cussing out your own kid now." This your own kid? Yeah, that's what I thought. You can't treat that boy like that. And so Corn looked at me, left the dugout. He said, "Dad," looked at me dead in the eye. He's outside his character too. He said, "It's just a game."
Right. Yeah.
He
Brought
was
it back to reality.
This was actually in I think he's like 12 years old.
Yeah. Was that an airport?
Yes. No, this is right after airport.
Oh, okay.
This is a Pacific.
Pacific? Okay.
Yeah, went to airport, but this is after Pacific.
So 5th and 6th grade, is that 5th?
Yeah, because he's February.
Excellent.
So you learn. You can learn from anybody.
Yeah.
Every day signals and things are coming up. We miss most of them. But the answers are there.
Right.
The answers. I've been going on too long. Y'all,
No, it's good. It's good. The conversation is leading into the right direction. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of what we wanted to talk about, you know. And I'd like to ask about the pilgrimage from the South to coming out to California. How was that? I mean, at that time, I know my mom, she came from our family. My mom's family came from Arkansas. So they came from Arkansas all the way to California, and they basically went straight to West Sacramento.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, and my mom, they had 13 brothers and sisters. They had big families.
Know that.
Super big family. And so that's kind of how we got, my mom and my dad, because they had family out there in West Sac too. They're like the only two black families out there. And so
he was in Bryan. I know his family.
Yeah, so
I used
they
to
were
go over to his grandfather's house.
so that's how they kind of met out there, and that's where I spent like a lot of my summers in West Sacramento, Broderick, Bright, all that, whatever. It's kind of built up now, but it was one. I mean, I loved being out there, just being like the only family, only two families. You know what I'm saying? So we didn't. Either you was a cousin or you was new to the area. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of felt good. Like, hey, where you? What? Okay, you know. And every now and then you catch a new guy coming in, but. The majority, it was just our people out there, you know. So that was kind of I love that part of it because I go back now, and it's just the neighborhood out there is just a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's out there. I'm like, okay, now there's more black people. I see people in the grocery store and stuff like that. And hey, how's your grandma been? Or you know, and how's your uncle? And I'm like, how you know me? She said, I remember you. Like y'all was only a black family out there, you know. So we used to laugh about it a lot, but. I wanted to ask you about that. Like, how was that experience, though?
You know, for me, it's probably a little bit different because I did start off in Topeka, Kansas in school.
Okay.
But before then, it was a segregated South. I mean, Topeka was segregated, don't get me wrong, 1955. 1955, Sacramento was segregated.
Yeah.
But coming from being one of only two black people in a class from kindergarten to second grade, then coming to Sacramento.
Chocolate side, yeah.
And when I went in third grade in Sacramento, it was all black people or poor brown and white people, but predominantly black. Okay, and then they built Camellia in my fifth grade year, and it was all black. Only two white people there. I had to stand up for the white people, and I did. It wasn't treating them right. You know, I'm serious. It would be Kenny up and Gary up no, I ain't the baddest cat in the class, but you can't do that. It's gonna come. No. You don't want them to do to you. No.
Right.
So it's interesting American dynamics because, again, you know, coming from, you're dealing with white supremacy no matter where. Okay, just different versions of it. Some of it was legalized coming from where I was born, Otherwise, other parts of it was just status quo
Okay.
here in Sacramento, you know. Or even in high school, where when we moved to Land Park, there was a neighborhood organization that came to my dad and offered him twice as much money not to move in.
Right.
Said he would pay it. They would pay it off and give him the rest of it. I think the house was like $20,000, $27,000. They gave him $54,000 not to move in.
Wow. Wow.
Dad said, no, you got the wrong brother.
Right. We were.
Well, see what he did. This is kind of like why we are the way we are too. 'Cause some people moved out.
Yeah.
See, our next door neighbor never became our next door neighbor. They moved out.
Okay.
But the next door neighbor that moved in is the reason why I met Jesse Owens.
Oh, excellent.
Because he was so cool. See, God know what he doing.
Right.
And not only that, because he was only 8 years older than me, he had gone to Cal. He had graduated from Cal, where I decided I wanted to go.
Yeah.
So he was a white brother mentor
Right.
to me and my brother,
Yeah.
you know. And so my dad, when first thing he did, he had my mom cook up some tea cakes. And he went around the neighborhood. You like that, Queen? You like them tea cakes? So that's right. T. Rose used to fix us some tea cakes. Well, you know, you must be from the South too. Louisiana. That's my mom and dad was born in Louisiana. Okay, I really claim Louisiana even more than Texas. You want to know the truth? But he took him to all these neighborhoods. He didn't know which ones didn't want him in there and anything. And sometimes they opened the door, sometimes they didn't. But it's just like in any demographic. You know, there's woke people and there's sleepwalking people.
Yes, exactly.
Amongst all of us. Very interesting thing that happened once I'll just say received all these accolades at the end of which was only 3 months after moving in. No, a year and 3 months after moving in. Oh, everybody want to be our friend.
Exactly.
Everybody, we'll talk about that later, but that's part of this moral crusade that we all are. Not just as black people, but it really does originate in our black experience because we are the moral conscience to this nation. Without us, the moral conscience is drastically different. So that going from the South, then when we went back to the South, now, Jeff, to answer your question,
Okay.
that's interesting because we would go back to the South to visit Grandma and Grandpa during the summers, and the Klan would be running rampant and just be,
Yeah.
And here, we're in Sacramento. You couldn't call no white boy could call us the N-word and not get a whipping.
Right.
But there in Texas, no, you better leave him alone.
Right.
He said, no, man, Rudolph, I know you could whip him. Yeah, we could whip him, but we better not touch him.
Right.
So y'all getting ready to move up out of here. Y'all only here for 3 months.
Right.
We still got to live here.
Right.
So we don't bring all this militancy and all this stuff here. I said, but it's just the right thing to do to sock him.
Right. Get him.
Roll up on, call us N-word like that, and then go stand there. What you gonna do about it?
Right.
I said, man, this is just where I was born. Okay.
Right.
And then they still had, segregated bathrooms, movies. That was deep.
Church was.
Well, church is still segregated. I mean, Sundays is still the most segregated day in America. Okay, right today.
Yeah.
But that's not that's kind of less than even de facto. That's just
But that and tennis.
Yeah, right.
It's not that Serena Venus ain't playing.
Oh, yeah.
But no, we that. So basically that those awakening moments and so forth, and teaching us how to love through all this unlovingness, through all this really pathology. It's a sickness. Yes, a sin, but it's a sickness too, and it's original sickness that this nation was founded and conceived upon, and we're still dealing with it. Yes, there's been a lot of progress, and we ought to be happy about that. We definitely ought to acknowledge it, but we can't be settled. We can't settle for what right. See, there's a difference between making progress and being equal.
Right.
See, progress and equality. progress and fairness. Those are two different things. See?
Sure.
And if it's not for the firebrand, people like you, as a matter of fact, and the Queen, who sacrifice things, you don't get paid for it. You do it because it's the right thing to do, because that's what your parents taught somewhere down the road, whether your parents, your grandparents, or somebody down the road told you, this is the kind of human being you want to live as and die being, and teach your kids. Because no matter how much money you do make, this world needs a love train. They need people that are going to stand up for righteousness, stand up for, and I'm not saying it in a religious way. I'm standing up for what is right. And in this nation, a lot of it starts with the race issue. Doesn't end there. But in my experience and how I grew up, see, I learned to love and be loved in the chocolate side of this nation. Right. That was all that was around me. So I took that love, and thank God that's the love I was born to love. Because, man, maybe I would have been either crazy or very militant.
Right.
If I tried to learn another way.
Right.
But I learned it in the traditional black way.
Right.
See?
You got a lot of love in your heart, you know what I'm saying? And you show it, you know what I'm saying? It's
get
well
mad.
presented.
You can get mad.
You got the scripture, yeah.
That's right. But there's such a thing as righteous indignation. You take that anger and channel it in a way that allows you to be of service and to teach others.
Right.
And to still be here when your kids are here and watch them grow up and so forth.
Exactly.
You don't want to inculcate hate into young minds. That's you don't want to do that. But you want to know what you insert within them the beauty that is uniquely theirs.
Right.
And how to rise above certain situations and not bow down to them. Okay? And how to be a self-respecting, loving black person. You don't have to laugh when the shit ain't funny.
Right.
You don't have to scratch where it don't itch.
Right. Exactly.
You're
Totally agree.
You're not beholden to the validity. Your humanity is not beholden to the validity of anybody, any color. You are God's creature. And as long as he loves you, that's all you need. And he can't help but love you.
Right.
Because that's just who he is. He love you when you can't love yourself.
Exactly.
I'm sorry I'm going on.
No, there ain't nothing sorry about it.
I'm over here getting choked up and excited, and I'm
something special.
Yeah. I told you we was on to something today, so I'm glad that I see we got like about 10 people that tuning in and stuff like that. I want to go ahead and drop that number for people that can call in, and it's 916. Hey, 916-745-9598. Go ahead and call us right now. You know what I'm saying? We're here. We want to hear your voice.
I'm C. West.
Jay Nash.
And this is Cool Papa. Cool Papa.
Papa.
Here.
Yeah.
My dad, my father.
Love him. All right, so we're going to wait for our first caller. We're going to talk about something else real quick. Anyway, the book? Want to go to that?
Maybe, or we could jump into, he talked about all his siblings, including him, were born in different states.
Yes.
And the last one being my Auntie Cheryl, born here in Sacramento, California.
Yeah.
But then we talked about my uncle, my namesake, and Pops. You know what I'm saying? It's like I said, from the time when they was in kindergarten and third grade, they've been going at each other, finding out, talking to each other, seeing what the thing to do is, and still doing it today.
Right.
So Uncle, as you know, running for president, but he's not doing that without his main, one of his backbones. You know what I'm saying? And talk about that, man.
Thanks for opening that up, because I think it's really important to talk about all the kids. I'm the oldest. And I guess I know God know what he's doing, but he definitely made me the oldest for a reason. Especially Cornell was always a very special child, very angry child growing up. He fought a lot.
a little cute kid too. I seen his little pictures.
Well, no,
and stuff.
he talking about his brother.
Oh, his brother. Okay, okay.
But he's a cute kid.
But same thing.
So
but
what
I
I'm
was
saying
angry.
was, hey,
I was angry.
I thought so too, but yeah, I'm sorry about
I was shadow
that.
boxing, but I was a shadow fight.
Yeah,
Go
I
in the room.
just see a lot of his little elementary pictures. This little Cornell.
I can tell you a story about this guy
Yeah.
before I
I
get
used
into
to
my
love
other
it.
story. I wondered if I was going to have to take him to some kind of psychiatrist when he was about 3 years old. Because he would chew on stuff.
Right.
I mean, not regular stuff. He would chew on the car, inside your car. If you left him in the car alone, he would chew on the upholstery.
Over there gnawing on stuff. Huh?
And then I caught him chewing on the walls in his room.
Right.
I said, something, this before Keith Sweat came out too. I said, something just ain't right. This just ain't right moment.
Right.
And, you know, I said, I don't want to have, how do you give a kid a whipping for chewing on stuff?
Right.
You know, so I had talks with him, and I told him, you know,
I talked with him.
Yeah, I thought.
you're going to mess your teeth up.
Right.
You know, you're going to have wood in
One
your gum.
tooth down.
There's
Yeah.
a splinter in your gum. but no, growing up with my sisters and so forth, Corn was an angry child. He got in a lot of fights, man. Corn liked to fight.
Okay.
See, he would beat up everybody his age in the neighborhood. And then Larry Mitchell then would go to Oak Park
There we go.
and go get some other kids his age to come fight.
Yeah.
That's when fighting was a big deal
Yeah.
back in the day. Nobody shot or nothing like
Right.
that. You know?
I mean, that's the
right,
best way to solve a problem. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
If you like it, you fighting with your brother and sister. You know what I'm saying? You fight, get it over with, and you walk away, and everybody still
Well,
there.
there were those kind of fights, and then there were these promotional fights, to where he would go to Oak Park and get the baddest cat out of American Legion,
Yeah.
and then come over to Camellia, and they would bet.
Yeah.
They would bet on the fight,
Okay.
and Corn never lost.
Hey, Golden Glove.
You know, and then they started trying to bring cats a grade up.
Uh-huh.
Now I got to get him. But I'm three grades up. For me to be whipping on these little cats 2 grades, that ain't cool either. So, you know, it just caused a big problem. But part of it was shaping Corn through, you know, the family, the neighborhood, and the schools. These are public schools I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Kudos to these public schools that helped shape Corn and challenged him in a way where he could channel now that anger into a more righteous indignation, which you see right now. He's still an angry child, but he's now marinated that with love.
Knows how to, yeah.
See, so you got this great little filet mignon steak with just the right marbling in it, just the right meat.
Exactly.
You don't even have to put no A1 sauce on it. You'll ruin it. It's just cool, just the way it is.
Right. Yeah.
My sisters are 2 love angels.
Yes,
Oh, my God.
Yes.
They are amazing. You think me and Corn got love in us. We don't come close. These 2 love angels, man. I can't believe sometimes just bring a tear to my eye to think about these. The love they got in them is really too good for this world.
Right.
You know. And they were younger. And so, and the youngest one is 9 years younger than me. And so we all still here. We all still here, man. And so getting into my brother's thing is, you know, he graduated from high school, 16 years old, never made anything less than an A.
Okay.
In
Where did you
any
graduate
subject.
from?
John F. Kennedy.
John F. Kennedy. Okay.
He was the first class to go all the way through, 10 through 12.
Excellent.
So even from kindergarten, when he was getting F's in citizenship, he still got A's,
Yeah.
you know.
Right.
And he had cooled off by the time he got to like 4th or 5th grade.
Okay.
He skipped a grade. That's why he graduated early.
Yeah.
And so he went to Harvard, got out of there early, 19 years old. He almost caught me.
Right. Wow.
I got out of Cal. I was cool. I had about 3.4 out of Cal. I wasn't no dummy, you know. I said, this little Negro gonna catch me.
Right.
And so of course, he got out magna cum laude, and he might have got a couple B's at Harvard. And went on and got his doctorate at Princeton.
Okay.
So he definitely has some special gifts about himself. But I talked to you about that 36 months. See, his 36 months is going on into 55 years.
Yes.
See, he has that same discipline that I had for 36 months.
Right.
He started it when he was like in the 5th grade.
With no vacation.
Right.
It's a
No
straight-
No vacation. And he
Summer
started in the
vacation.
5th grade, and he's still doing it right now.
Yes, he is.
See, but he knows how to use it because he's chosen to use it in a different way. He could have been a billionaire by now, multi-billionaire. But that wasn't who he was. See, he chose it to be true to Big Daddy, which is my mother's father, Reverend C.L. West, which is my daddy's father, Reverend Willie P. Cook, which is the pastor who we grew up on. I could go on about him from now until I call me home. I'm trying to tell you, that man. And so forth. And, Vacation Bible School, Sunday School, Glen Elder, all them fights and all that stuff. All of it went together, see. And it put him on that moral crusade, like I keep telling you about.
Yeah.
That moral aptitude. We talk about mental aptitude. What's more important than that is a moral aptitude.
Right.
How high is your moral aptitude?
Right.
How you working on that? So when he called to tell me he was running for president, now we had talked about this before, years and years and years.
Okay.
He said, I would never run for any office. I said, I know, Brother Martin Luther King didn't know. He never ran for a reason either.
Right.
And Martin Luther King never even endorsed anybody. Even when President Johnson signed the Voting Rights Act and the Civil Rights Act, he didn't endorse LBJ.
Right.
He was thankful that he signed it, but he was careful not to endorse it.
Right.
So when Corn called, I said, man, what's going on?
Yeah.
I said, what changed? And I said, brother, let me tell you one thing. You didn't call me to ask me for your permission to do it.
Right.
You called to tell me this is what you going to do.
That's what changed.
You called for me my confirmation.
Right.
I said, so we talked about it the whole time. And it's part of his calling. The reason why he is who he is and how he's done it is part of his calling. And his calling is to try to leave this world a little bit better than the way he found it, as much as one person can be. He understands he's just part of a grand tradition. Going back to names we don't even know, even before 1619 when we first came here. But some we do know. We know Ella Baker. We know Martin Luther King. We know Malcolm X. We know Bay Rustin. But there's other names that we don't know. They are firebrands. They didn't get into it for the kudos and for the visibility, and definitely not for the money, but they gave it all for the time that they was here. And then the musicians, the Coltrane, from the jazz, from the jazz genre. And then we grew up listening to Curtis.
Yeah.
Motown, of course, Mary Wells. I was just wishing I was about 10 years older so I could have married Mary Wells. I love Mary Wells. What two can easily do. I said, girl, you only knew. It on down to, Sam Cooke and all down the thing. Smokey. I thought I was Smokey. Yeah. I used to do my hair like Smokey till it caught on fire. It caught on fire in the 5th grade. That's a hell of a thing. You put a cheap comb in your hair, and then cheap comb, hair catch on fire.
Right.
And you got to run to the bathroom and then send home. But, we had a very blessed childhood, and now he's taking on this thing. And what he is stressing again is trying to raise the moral aptitude of a broken system.
Yes.
The duopoly, a broken system. Right. Both parties answerable to the same corporate masters.
Yes, sir.
Yes, they have different messages, but they tell the same lies.
Right.
It's like playing football between the 40-yard line here and the 40-yard line here.
Right.
Ain't nobody going to ever really score.
No.
You make progress, and then you sell that progress. See, but ain't nobody ever really gonna really score.
Right.
I'm excited about Kamala and the excitement that she brings into it, but nothing's changed.
Right, right.
Truth, justice, and love are constant.
Right.
There's a thing called the changing same. You know, I didn't do it. Somebody said it and I picked it up. The changing same. Things change in time, but the truth doesn't change. That remains the same. So how does the truth live in a changing environment? Truth, love, and justice, which are which is the slogan of the campaign, that hasn't changed. So while we wish the best for the sister, we definitely pray for her protection and so forth.
Right, right.
She is our sister. She's family in that way, you know. But and we're hoping for, you know, that she does as well as she can do. But just speaking for myself, there's 3 reasons for my brother running. That is to win. I don't care if he polling at 1%, 3%, 1%. See, you're talking to a guy that ran 505 one day, and 24 months later, he was qualified for the Olympic trials.
Exactly.
I mean, that's true. I'm not even being hyperbolic about
It's
that.
doable.
See, I know what the Lord can do. Now, if he don't do it, okay, that's okay. He got another plan.
Right.
But I ain't giving up on him.
No.
Yeah, we all in.
So we in live time. The second one is for the people that Cornell represents. There's more people than the media will ever tell us.
Right, right.
There's more people than the media will ever tell, because the one thing they don't want to get loose and out of control is truth, love, and justice.
Right.
That's the last thing. In a transactional society that we living in right now, you can't commodify those things.
Right.
They try to. They say, everybody got their own truth. Well, yeah, okay, but there's still one truth. And I ain't talking religion now.
Right.
Okay.
Righteous one love, yeah.
And then, for the other thing is, for God. God is looking up on us.
Right.
He's looking at Corn. He's looking at y'all. He's asking that proverbial question. I hear him ask me every day, what you gonna do? I gave you another day. What you gonna do with it? So, you know, when the Democratic Party come to Corn and want him to bow out, you got to listen to what God say. What you gonna do?
Right.
Regardless what they may entice him with.
Right.
You got to answer to God. I'd rather have a Democratic Party mad at me than God.
Oh,
Right.
Home like that.
So let's say, where's the direction? Where's the pivot at when it comes to Corn in the presidential race? Like, what's the campaign? What's he campaigning under? What is it? A new party?
Yeah. It's a Justice for All party.
Justice for All party.
And it basically, it just throws a moral slant on everything. I mean, but it also, you can go to Cornell West 2024 and you see all this platform stuff. We won't get into all that right now.
Right.
But it has to do, we're living in the richest country in the world.
Right.
It's no reason why 61% of us is living from paycheck to paycheck. It's no reason why 40% of black and brown kids are living below the poverty line. And 60% if you want to throw in Native Americans. In the richest country in the world, there's no reason why if you don't qualify to go to college, that you, like so many other nations, you can't go to college and have it paid for. It's no reason why we don't all have health care. That's not just a national thing. That is a human right.
Right.
To have health coverage. Nobody should die just because you don't have enough money.
Right.
What kind of mess is that?
Talk about it.
So it's just common sense stuff.
Right.
You know, it's just common sense things. But it's like I said, you got to have aptitude, a moral aptitude.
Right.
I believe in 3 things. You know, I'm not an ism. I'm not a progressivism or conservatism or liberalism, anything like that. I believe in hands that work.
Yeah.
I believe in minds that think. But I believe in hearts that love. And they can all go together. And there's a potential in each and every one of us, no matter how we look to each other. See, I'm going across the line, same thing. Black looking at white, white looking at black, blah, 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 blah. Okay? Don't go that.
Right.
Open up your heart to see what's in theirs. Then we get away from this us and they thing.
Right. See how similar we are opposed to how
See how
different.
similar we are. You know, my coaching was one of the greatest experiences I could ever go through. And I coached, the demographics where I coached was all across the board.
Right.
And one thing they all had in common, they were all kids. They were all being shaped and so forth.
They're all sponges. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I was a sponge. He was a sponge. I just know that.
We all were at that time.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that he one of the unique coaches, man. Athletes that was in my class and after me still call him today.
Yeah.
Still keep in contact with. And,
Yeah, I
and
mean-
just for a coach to be able to still have that type of influence on people's lives, it's deep.
Yeah. And you know, it never goes away. I was listening to some sports radio today, and they were talking to I think it was Nick Saban or something, and he was talking about how he stepped down from Alabama, and how over the years he's gotten numerous number of phone calls, emails from past students or past players that only thanked him for kind of what he was able to instill in them. And I thought that was outstanding because I'm like, you know, we're younger coaches, you know, me and C. West, and we returned back to our neighborhood and stuff like that to coach, and we had a thing this past Saturday, and
That's right.
and we just seen like a lot of kids that we helped develop, you know, 5 or 6 years ago, and now these kids are going to high school and elementary school. Junior high school, and we got a couple athletes that are, outstanding, and we're happy about that. And like I said, you know, every now and then we get those calls from some ex-players telling us how thankful they are that we were there for them, and I'm like, we're doing the same thing to our ex-coaches, and you know.
Right, exactly. And shouts out to Miss Jackie in the Rose.
Yes, Miss
Family
Jackie
Foundation.
Rose. Yeah.
And Jeff, cousin Jeff, was honored.
Oh.
His coaching staff with Coach Rue, Coach Jeff, me, C. West, and Coach Bruce.
Yes, sir.
And,
that's great.
It was family, you know what I'm saying?
that's great.
Yeah. So when I build this staff, or whatever, not to cut you off, cousin, when I build this staff, I wanted to be around people that loved me, basically, and understood the philosophy that we kind of had already kind of going. The chemistry had to be right because we knew that we were in a situation where we're developing kids that really pretty much never played the game before. So we had to be, you know, teachers as well as people that they could look up to, because these kids, some of them had little issues and stuff like that. And, you know, we were able to talk them off the ledge a couple of times, you know, just cut practice, and, you know, instead of practicing, we're going to talk about homework and stuff like that. And so, you know, all those kids are doing outstanding. I mean, I would say every one of them, like I said, and I'm glad he brought Miss Jackie into the equation, because, I mean, that's another powerful person that does a lot of stuff in the community, and I don't think that she gets enough kudos for it.
Give her
You
flowers.
know what I'm saying? So, you know, she just had a birthday. Someone told her
Yeah, I
happy
saw
birthday
that.
as
I
well.
saw that. Yeah,
Yeah, and so
birthday.
she's just like definitely like a mentor as well to us. And so I just want to say thank you, Miss Jackie, for being there and supporting.
Jackie, for me, I'll tell you, Jackie, for me, is part of those torchbearers when I was talking about Ella Baker and so forth. She's on that level, man. She's on the level of my brother.
Yeah.
Special,
She's very special, man.
important, and needed.
Yeah. And she just puts her head down. She just does the work.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, she puts her head down. She does the work.
And many follow her. So yeah,
Yeah.
people believe in her. It's beautiful, beautiful thing. And then, not to cut anybody off, but then the whole passion of the torch that Pops was talking about. Then Brother Russ,
Yeah.
saying it comes
Russell,
into the fold. So it's like
yeah,
it keeps
yeah.
on. The pot keeps on
Russell
stirring.
Russ,
Osby.
yeah.
Oh,
So,
my
yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Beautiful thing.
it's funny, real quick story. So he was asking me something about the doing like the nonprofit stuff, all right? And I was like, hey, yeah. So I had Miss Jackie. You know, she helped us establish our nonprofit. And he was like, he heard a lot about Miss Jackie, but he didn't know who she was. And so I had introduced him, got him on the same conversation, phone call basically. And he'd been over there, I want to say, for like the last 9 months, and he just taken off with that. Yeah, so he started his nonprofit. He's got a basketball thing going. We'll try to post some of that stuff a little bit later, but he is really kind of just taking it on, and he's super excited that he was able to really kind of meet Miss Jackie in the situation because
because he been knowing Miss Jackie's son, brother-in-law Carl, for a long time, so he to put those dots together. You know what I'm saying? Right.
Yeah, he didn't know. You know what I'm saying? And he was just overwhelmed when I told him
that's what makes Sacramento so special.
Yeah.
That's what you get. You know what I'm saying, when you're homegrown.
Yeah, right. You never know who your family is. You know what I'm saying? And
you never know who they're gonna be.
Yeah, right. So you better make sure that you're on your A's and B's, your P's and Q's, A's and B's, because you never know who your family is. Somebody gonna direct their attention to you, in the right way. But I know that I was happy when, like, I know this Corn was talking about the story, how like we kind of met on the track and stuff like that, and that just forever changed my life.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I was an athlete myself, and going against a guy
He
like
was a good athlete. You can tell the people you. If you don't say it, I'll say it.
I like to be modest. I know the last time you came, last time, but
you might even been better than your dad. I think you ran faster, but the competition was tougher.
Yeah. I mean, shoot, running with guys against like Cornell and Pat and stuff like that from CB. I mean,
because your dad didn't run as fast as Corn did.
Yeah.
I can tell you that.
Pops might say something. Call in.
Yeah, don't start lying now, Jeff. Don't start. I know.
Well, I know if we was lined up together, he had a fighting chance, and he probably would have won because his record was probably better than what my record was when it comes down to wins and losses.
He didn't lose much.
Right,
You're right.
So,
You're right about that. He didn't lose much.
Shit, neither did this guy right here.
As long as so as long as you put him on the line, you can't take that record away from nobody.
You would have had to run. And you run on all weather track.
Right.
And he's running on them muddy old center tracks.
Dirt tracks.
Combat boots on and everything.
Right.
Everything else.
No spikes.
So I don't know. Maybe Jeff would have been shooting.
I would have had a relay team to maybe get some more people on it. And I went to a different school and we snuck them in on my team.
I think about it, man. We had them heavy old track shoes, man. Yeah. We didn't buy. I remember I couldn't even buy track shoes till my senior year.
Right.
And my dad went to some Hungarian in San Francisco. I don't want to buy but one pair of track shoes for the rest of your life. So if your feet grow, you got to pay for a shoe.
There you go.
And he got me these big old Hungarian shoes, and I wore them Hungarian shoes every track meet except when I went to the state meet. And this brother from Rancho Cordova, his white brother from Rancho Cordova, said, "Clip, take them shoes off and wear mine." Because he didn't make, he had broke his leg.
One of his rivals, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. He mopped me up in cross country.
Right.
But he had got hurt and stuff. So he gave me his shoes. I wore them shoes for the next year and a half. I never lost in them shoes.
Right, yeah. Good luck
All I
shoes.
needed was his shoes. Take off them big old Hungarian shoes.
Hold you back.
Them shoes still ain't wore out, man. That's 72 years ago.
Yeah, there you go, flying by somebody in the picture, crossing the tape. Yeah.
Bring that picture back.
Yeah,
There you go. Excellent.
You see the track right there?
There you go.
You had the shoes
There
on?
you go.
Yeah.
No, that was a dentist's them shoes. But by then, I would got my own shoes.
Yeah.
I was from one little celebrity out here.
Right.
Excellent.
But let's see this. This is a question I probably never asked you. I don't even know how to put it into words, but just for fantasy or whatnot, what would be your, as far as track goes now, what would be your all-time, regardless if they lived at the same time or whatever, what would be your all-time 4x1 team and or 4x4 team for guys and girls?
Wow. Man, I'd have to think about that, brother. I'd 4x1, Eddie Hart would be on it.
Uncle Eddie.
I'm talking about USA 4x1.
Right.
Definitely. Uncle Eddie Hart definitely would be on it. Carlos would have to be on it, man. Carlos, John Carlos would be on it. But then, you got Carl Lewis.
Right. It's sort of hard, huh?
It's so hard.
You got to have an 8-man relay.
Because what you have is you have different eras.
Right.
And then you got to realize the USA, any given year, including this year,
right. Great.
probably got of the 10 fastest teams in the world, probably 6 of them could come from USA.
Yeah, at least we got 2.
You know,
mean,
same with the
and
girls.
guys,
Yeah, same with
I
the
see how
girls.
they-
You know, so the girls will be too hard for me to like that. But man, you know, because you bringing people out of different events. You know, I always think Gail Devers would be.
Gail Devers.
I always
coming
like,
out the blocks first.
Yeah, I just like the way, you know.
Yeah, her approach. Yeah, her approach.
I like Evelyn Ashford. I traveled with her.
Love her.
I made 2 USA teams. I made 1 USA team and then a club team. We went to Europe. So I went to Europe twice on tours.
I still like Marion Jones too. I know she got caught up with something, but I still like her.
Well, I think Marion Jones too. And when you start talking about potential, too, Marion Jones ran like 11.3 electronic.
Right.
Sophomore year.
Playing basketball and running track.
In high school. I mean, oh my God.
Right.
But yeah. You know, I thought about the other day that I was telling one of my guys that on our USA team, when I was on USA team, I was on a 4x400. And I actually, all them years I ran the mile, all them years I ran distance, I was actually a better sprinter. But I just hadn't got to my strength yet.
Yeah, it's funny, not to cut you off there real quick. So I was looking at something, I knew you had like a picture or something posted, and you guys were talking about track. And one of the gentlemen was like, something like about the 200 or whatever. And then you were like, or he was like something like, oh, well, you can beat me in the 100, but you can't beat me in the 2. It was one of your friends or one of your buddies had said something.
No, what that was, man, that was James Roberts.
Okay.
James and I, we kid all the time. He shouldn't even put that. But what James is, what happened is, James was 7-time USA champion and a half.
Okay.
Which the
7-time USA champion and a half. He went to Cal. He's 4 years younger than me, though.
Okay.
So
and he's from Oakland, or
he's from Oakland. He went to McClymonds. And so when I started running sprints, James was like, "Man, what you doing?"
Yeah.
I said, "Man, I'm getting ready to get you in that half. I'm gonna tap that ass. I'm getting ready to come up in that half, brother." I said, "You better get ready. Gonna take a year or 2."
Right.
You know. And so he said, "No, you ain't got to worry about that. I'm gonna drop down in the 200."
Okay. Exactly.
So I only ran like 4 200s my whole life, right?
Right.
So the second 200 I ran, I ran 20.9. James was in that race.
Oh yeah.
So James ran 21.7. So every time he see me, he say, "Man, you remember how I mopped you up in that 200?" And I tell him, I said, "James, was you in that race?" I didn't even notice you were so far behind.
Exactly.
And they was teammates in college. So
Okay.
Well,
How
actually,
strong
we
Barney-
were teammates on the USA
Oh,
team.
USA team. Okay, right.
But
right.
I left
Same
when he
college.
came.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, I couldn't,
Yeah.
James ran 143 for a half, man. He was 7 times USA champion, went to the Olympics,
Yeah.
went to the finals.
That
in
got to be a
Olympics.
record, huh? For the 800, 7
Well,
times
no,
champion.
you got them Africans running, brother.
No,
He won
I'm talking
41.
about, I'm talking about U.S. champion. Though. You say he was the U.S. champion 7 years in a row.
Yeah, but U.S. has run faster than that too.
Well, faster. But I'm talking about as far as consecutive years of being the.
I don't know. I have to check it up. I have to check on that. Yeah, he was, he was
He's
something.
special,
We
special.
got so many stories on James and me, man. I tell you, we good friends.
That's good stuff.
Okay.
Man, it's so much.
Yeah,
so much.
I mean,
we
man,
told you Sacramento,
look.
the universe.
Well, let me just say this. I really appreciate you guys having me here and the whole thing. Right. And I ain't got to just be dominating and everything, but maybe once a month,
Yeah.
I'll come
We're
on
gonna
and
do it.
if it's to your
Appreciate it.
thing.
Yes.
And do something. It might be good to do it just the week before the Pohawk.
Right.
And then we could talk about so many other things because we just kicking it, having a good time, and I hope people are enjoying it too.
Right.
You know, they don't have to ask no question, but they can. You know.
Right.
And so
I feel the conversation is excellent. It's moving in the right direction. It's positive. It's influential. You know, like people can really like find a happy place here. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like like we haven't had anybody call in, but I'm for sure that the viewers are appreciating the conversation we're having today. You know, because it's very educational. You know, it's adult
uplifting.
content. You know what I mean? And
This is what we've been blessed to be able to get our whole lives. Support the family. You know,
well, you guys bless me more than I could ever say or even bless you with, because you got kids of your own, so you know how kids do bless you. Your children bless you. Then one day you'll have grandkids.
Right.
Certain that's a special blessing within itself too.
Right.
Kids.
Right.
we're gonna rotate seats. One day we'll be there, and the kids will be over here. So yeah, we talking about somebody. We talking about track and passing the baton and stuff like that. That's kind of upon us now. It's not there just yet, but we're circling that vision. You know, I know me and C West have talked about it multiple times. You know, like, hey, we getting up there a little bit in age, so we kind of should maybe start grooming some of our younger pupils to kind of maybe step up, and still kind of take on that po-hop.
Oh,
Right. Yeah,
People
exactly.
organizing help of other people, and we kind of want to definitely, if you're a fan of ours, if you appreciate the work we've already done, reach out to us because we're very,
Let me say one thing about the POHOP before I know we're getting to the end of our time, is that the POHOP is a very important thing. It might even be ordained in certain ways. Something doesn't last this long unless it's important.
right.
We're talking about 2 decades, man. Something does not hang around that long unless there's some truth in it.
Right.
There's some hunger in it. So, my hat is off to y'all. I'm bowing to you, verbally bowing down. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Appreciate it.
Shouts out to all the other artists that's been
Appreciate it.
supporting in
Appreciate it.
Sacramento.
Yeah, all those artists. Remy, Remy.
Yes, Remy.
What, get all up in it? What,
All in.
all in. All in. Yeah, all in, Remy. All in.
Oh man, love that kid.
Yeah,
Yes,
plethora
sir.
of artists. Man, just blessed.
Yeah.
Blessed to be able to share the stage with people.
Younger generation that's coming on now, and
Right now, we're rocking at the Guild the first Thursdays of the month.
first Thursday of the month. We'll
At
be
the
there
Guild.
August 1st.
Yes.
We got Hayla in the building. Hayla V's in the building.
Right.
She'll be there August 1st.
There you go.
Go ahead and we have the tickets available for you at Eventbrite, or if not, you can go ahead and get the tickets at the door. And
And we're going to be indoor because the weather's been so crazy. Excuse me. We're not going to be at Esther's. We're going to be at the Guild for certain.
yes, we'll be at the Guild Theater. We're trying to take it inside. We looked at the weather. It's probably going to be 106 on August 1st. So we didn't want to either get the event canceled or have people out there, because it's
Right.
too hot, basically.
Bring
So
them in
we
with
go
the air
ahead.
conditioning.
Yeah. We'd rather make you guys comfortable and stuff like that. Same situation. Nothing will change. You know what I'm saying? We'll be there. We'll be out inside the Guild Theater, and doors open up at 7. The show will start at 7:45, and
Is that when we going to hop on the bikes? Is that the day I said I was going to ride the bike there?
yeah. So if you got a bike, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Go ahead and pull up. You know what I'm saying? We're going to give you something. We're trying to figure out what type of situation will size up for you, but
And I can't say nothing because I'm one of the bike riders, so I got to leave that to Jeff and Pops and Nikki.
We'll figure it out.
Well, in Corn's case, he gonna need oxygen mask. I don't know what you're gonna give everybody else.
Yeah.
But this brother gonna need oxygen mask.
No, because he got the motorbike now. He got the little thing.
Oh,
with
motor. I
engine
thought he
on
had
it.
You ain't got to tell me what kind of bike I got.
Yeah, he'll make it.
My battery ain't
pedal
charged, so I'm
halfway,
still
though.
pedaling the whole way. My battery not charged. I'm pedaling the whole way, for real.
Yeah, sure.
He gonna tell on the brother.
Yeah, my bad.
I'm still sweating and doing it.
No, I'm glad
Long
you
as
told me
got
because
the
I was
sun.
worried.
Right.
I was worried.
He was talking about coming from all the way from the house. I'm like, man, we could drive halfway there, and you steer that bike on in
Better
there
get a golf
that
cart.
way. Exactly. Boy, I'm telling you, I want to thank BossWorks Media for having us here once again,
Queen,
supporting
sound.
us. We love Nikki.
Queen of the
Nikki, can we
sound.
have you come on the camera one time? Yeah, come step behind Pops one time for us, please. That way they know who we
This
talking
is the
about.
real. This
you
is
know
the
what I'm
real
saying?
heart and brain of
Yeah,
everything
yeah,
that we got going on.
Gracious.
I know
Podcast.
Pops said the queen.
Beautiful,
and, yes,
elegant.
Yes. We
Oh,
love
yeah,
her.
inside
She's
and
important
out.
There she
to us,
goes.
and
Found
we
out.
appreciate all
Queen.
her efforts
Yeah.
and stuff
Family,
like that.
she's family.
Yeah.
Come check her out. She has a jewelry store. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? And what's the address, honey? You can-
She been
The
here.
address is 2251 Florin Road. I'm in Suite 109, right next door to Boost Mobile. The building is called the Florin Square Center.
Pull up.
And
Yes,
I've been over
yes.
here I'm celebrating 14 years. In
14 years.
August.
Okay.
So, yes,
Pull
and
up.
if you would like to get on the podcast,
Yeah.
rent out studio time,
Yes.
it's bossworkmedia@gmail. My number is 916-745-9598.
And what if they somewhere else and they want to order some things that they see online from you? Can they order like through what Cash App? I don't know how they order
Yeah,
things
I
online.
have a
but
Cash App. I don't have a website as of yet, but I'm
Right.
working on it.
Right.
Shout outs to Chuck Taylor.
There you go.
T,
Yeah,
hey, what's up,
Chuck T? Chuck
Yeah,
T.
you know,
Yes,
hook
yes,
up
yes.
my website.
Okay,
But right
there you
now,
go.
people call me or they kind of just get in on my posts.
Okay.
They Cash App me, Zelle.
Yeah. Email her,
things like
y'all.
that,
Trust
and
her.
then I
Yeah.
ship out.
There you go. There you go.
Excellent.
That's the queen of sound for us, y'all. Real talk.
Yes, Boss Works Media right there.
Eddie
Boy.
Potter.
Thank you. Real quick before we leave, Pops, go ahead and do a little bit more for where we can, for Ank's situation for the presidency. We just want to tie that up a little bit one more time.
People want to dial in, yeah.
Yeah, just,
Well, no, just you can go to CornellWest2024.com.
Yes.
And it not only has its platform, but you can donate, you can volunteer, you can do all that.
Okay.
It's a movement. He's just part of a movement for everyday people. One of the main things we want to do is take corporate money out of politics.
Yes.
I know it sounds like a dream,
No.
but right now we're talking about fascism on one end and a different kind of fascism on the other, and they both answering to the same corporate masters.
Right.
Okay, so for the people that's why you got 40% of people don't vote at all.
Right.
Okay, and people catching hell. Sometimes you can't just look at your situation and think the whole world is like this.
Right.
If you're comfortable and so forth.
Right.
People are catching hell, and at one point, a society cannot sustain that kind of damage, health damage. You just can't do it.
Right.
It's gonna show up at your front door one day.
Yes, it is.
So get on board the love train right now.
Right now.
Real talk.
Right
Real
now.
talk.
All colors, all genders, all sexual orientations, all means all.
Yeah.
'Cause that's what love is. Okay.
It's like we say, get better with life. Another
Yeah,
day to get better
another
with
day
life.
to get better with life.
Yeah.
Another day to get better with life. Hop, right?
Hop.
Sketches of My Culture podcast. Hey.
I'm C. West.
I'm Jay Nash.
We had cool Pops with us and Miss Queen Nikki Potters.
Hey.
Haha, there it go.
There we
Appreciate
go.
y'all.
There it
Lost
goes.
innocence. Lost innocence. Yeah.
Got him, coach.
At 106. Thank you.
Staying still nice right now. Chicken pox. That was nice.
Nice little thing back then.